Yup, you guys, can you believe it? It is that time of the year again. October, which also is known as Halloween month. Yup, a couple things are coming up that I promised you to deliver. First of all, I am going to talk about a lot of horror films that I saw throughout the years. I will have another fantastic collaboration with my buddy Sebastian Wendell Martinez, a very special Halloween-ish one. But yeah, since I promised you that I would review The Walking Dead, now is the right time. So let's start with season 1. The Walking Dead Season 1. The first season was actually run by Frank Darabont. Yeah, the guy who gave us Shawshank Redemption. How great is that? The show is actually based on the beloved graphic novel that goes by the same name and was written by Robert Kirkman. Yep, that one. I read the comic books as well, and at some point I will review those too. However, I first stumbled upon the show, and the first time I heard about the show, I was like, this sounds stupid. Seriously, like a show about a zombie apocalypse? Isn't that genre already dead? No pun intended. But yeah, I thought it was lame. Why would we want to watch that? But then I saw the pilot, and the pilot is one of the greatest episodes and one of the greatest pilots I've ever seen on any show ever. So what is this show about? The show focuses on Rick Grimes, a police officer. He and his partner, they're patrolling, and then Rick gets shot. Yeah, he falls into a coma. However, upon awakening, he realizes that the world is in the toilet. Everything is fucked. There's a zombie apocalypse, straight up. Yeah, it is very reminiscent of 28 Days Later. And now this man has only one goal. He wants to find his family, his wife Lori, and his son Carl. However, the first person he meets is a man named Morgan, who actually saves his life, who fills in on the entire situation, like what's happening, what's been going on. And yes, he finally meets his family. They're still alive, and they are part of a camp. So now let's break down all those little characters. First of all, Rick Grimes. I mentioned him before. He's your typical American action hero. In the first season, that doesn't really go further. I mean, yes, the actor is brilliant. Andrew Lincoln is perfect. But actually, the best actor on the show to me is Lenny James, the one that played Morgan in the first episode. And his dilemma, he wants to shoot his wife, who's a zombie now. That was tough. That was rough to watch. And he has a little son who is also great. I loved Morgan, but he's only in one episode. But he was excellent. Then we got Lori, Rick's wife, and I hate her. I know, I start off by bitching about the show, but yeah, Lori is one of the most disgusting characters ever. It's not the actress, it's just her character. She actually bangs Shane, Rick's best friend. Yeah, while he's in a coma, she started an affair with him because she thought, well, my husband is dead, so let's fuck his best friend, I guess. Which brings me to Carl. Carl in the first season, again, he's just a little child, very often the damsel in distress, so that character doesn't really go that deep. Then we got Dale. He's the old fella of the crew, and I love him. Great performance by the actor. He's the wise guy. He's sort of the moral compass, which even develops further in season 2. And he's just plain awesome. Then we got Andrea, and in the first season I actually liked her. She's got her sister Amy, and after the camp just gets swarmed by walkers, yes, her sister dies, and she is pretty much a damaged character from this point on, which is always important to have some of those. Then we got T-Dog, who is sort of the muscle. He's the muscle of the group, but yeah, you need one guy like this in a scenario like that. And we got Glenn. Glenn is awesome, especially in the first season. He's the comedy relief because a show that is so bitter, that is so dark, needs some lighthearted moments, and that's what Glenn is for. He's awesome, he's witty, he's clever, he's really sneaky. He is able to hide very quick. However, really interesting, 2 original characters that were specifically created for the show were actually truly amazing, and those were Merle and Daryl Dixon, 2 brothers. Yes, the first one, Merle, well, he's a douchebag, he's an asshole, he's a neo-Nazi, redneck, racist piece of shit, but he plays the part so well. First time we meet this guy, he's on a roof, and Rick doesn't know what to do with him because he wants to execute the black dude. So Rick just handcuffs him to the roof and leaves him there, which really pisses off his brother, Daryl Dixon. Now I can tell you from the get-go, Daryl is not like his brother. Daryl is actually an anti-hero in disguise, and he will really grow over time. Norman Reedus is probably the star of the show, even though he's a supporting character and even though he's not based on any of the source material. But yeah, they find the cut off hand of Merle and Daryl loses his shit, but he accepts the truth that his brother was in fact an asshole. Now let's talk about Shane a little bit, because Jon Bernthal gives a terrific performance as Shane. And Shane is not a very interesting character in the comic books. I'm sorry, he's just not. In the show, however, he absolutely fucking is, because his entire life ends after Rick comes back. Because Rick is back, so Lori immediately breaks up with him. She wants to go back to her husband. He also loses his kid, Rick's kid, Carl. And he loses his leadership position as well. So from the get-go, there is friction between him and his best friend, even though he loves his best friend. So that's a very interesting dynamic right there. And Jon Bernthal, he plays the part very well. He wants to be there for his best friend, but he also wants to have Lori back. And you see him crumbling apart. That's interesting. And another very interesting character that I have to mention is Carol. Carol is this very sweet woman who gets constantly beaten up by her asshole husband. She's also a mother to Sophia, and she doesn't even dare to speak. But that character will grow over time, and I will stop now because I will mention her character developments in the later season, but she's really extremely important. And yes, her dickbag husband, walkers actually eat him. So near the end of the season, they stumble upon this disease control center. They go in there. It's like the Hatch on Lost. And the dude that works there tried to find a cure. He has given up and he intends to blow himself and the entire building up with all of our heroes inside, I guess. And he whispers something into Rick's ear, which shocks Rick, but Rick manages to escape with all of his friends. The station blows up, and Rick and his people, they have to look for a new place to live. Now I can tell you, the first season only has like 6 or 7 episodes, but to me it is a perfect introduction to the characters and to the lore. However, if the first season doesn't really convince you, you should still continue to watch, because that show really progresses and develops over time, because essentially it is all about the characters. It's one of those shows that really caught me by surprise, and now I'm a hardcore fan. So The Walking Dead Season 1, what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comment section below. And thank you guys, as always, for watching. And if you like what you see here and you want to see more, then just subscribe.